Hello. How's it going? How are you all doing today? Strap yourself in! Who's ready to get canceled? Let's fucking go! Woo! Yeah! God. We'll see how this goes. I'm not sure. Again, my hopes are low for this, to be honest with you, because there's no precedent to determine whether I am capable of talking about like more high-level design while live. So we'll figure out. We'll find out. If you want me to talk about my opinion on Slay the Spire cards, sure. This is a little more than that. So we'll see how it goes. I have a few things that I had planned, and we'll find out. Hopefully the clickbaity title works. Yeah, it's really funny because when I was considering the title, I actually thought of putting "We need to talk about Dustborn." But frankly, the level of clickbait that I was willing to put under the pretense that I am actually trying to take this seriously, was surprisingly low. And I was like, you know what? This is what we'll go with. Won't push it too hard. At the very least, we get you to hear the song. Does the song play in the game? Does it, because we're probably not playing the game today. Okay, awesome. We're probably not playing the game today, but maybe when we actually play it, if this goes relatively well, then maybe I will continue, but I have no idea. Because as I've said before, realistically, in the grand scheme of things, I'm actually not that experienced. But all I really have is the good words of my superiors. But, the reps, the amount of times I have actually had to do this, it's not that high, I think, realistically, so, Yeah, so the company apparently made a decent game before this. Yes. So I heard about that. Or rather, I did some research. There was I did a little bit of research. We'll find out what to do about that. Hello, Cheese, welcome. Yeah, and we'll see what happens. Okay. Hello. Welcome. So, for anyone who does not know what we are trying to do today, who animated your intro? Kaisuo Fudo. It's in the description. They also did work for VShojo, I think, a couple of times. And they have more recently... Yeah. Their prices basically skyrocketed after they worked for VShojo, and I'm like, dang, I wish I could recruit them again, but they're hella expensive. Okay, I'm gonna try really hard to keep on track today. So, for anyone who does not know what we are attempting to do today, maybe I can move this a little bit. Here, let me see. Because you can't actually see the outline for this document. You're not supposed to, I don't think. It wasn't really my intention to include it, but we have some stuff to get to today. And we'll be getting to that. So for anyone who does not understand what we are trying to do, I have some background in this little old thing called game design. And this was prompted because I saw some videos from content creators that I know who were like, this game is bad. And you know, I don't know yet if it's bad. You know what I mean? So I think the general opinion or public opinion that I have seen is that it is bad. And that there are certainly like social media threads, posts, etc. that this game is bad. And what I was really curious about is that there's some part of me, I guess, that believes games are at least adjacent to art. I believe very strongly in games as an interactive experience. However, I shouldn't say however yet. So what that means basically is that subjectively, art can be bad. Like, it is okay for us to look at art and say, you know what? I don't really like that. That's not my thing. I'm gonna not play this. Or I'm not gonna watch this. I'm not going to consume this. And that's okay. I would go out on a limb and say that if Dustborn is a good game, or even was a good game, this is not a game I would probably ever play. Gonna be real with you. I am not huge on like very, very story heavy games. I like getting enthralled by mechanics. That is what I like doing. Story can be good too, but yeah, I'm literally already nervous trying to explain this. But yeah, so my point is that like I was curious how much of like the negative reception of this game is because it is bad as like a game, and how much of it is art that people don't like. Because I think it is okay if it is art that people don't like, because that's fine. Like, for example, like a lot of people probably don't like my model. And that's fine. That's okay. But I was genuinely curious, is it a combination of that and also like objective principles of game design? I can't believe Flar went woke. Yeah, it's funny, we're actually gonna get to that. I wrote something about that. So yeah, basically it's like, you're allowed to make whatever art you want, but people are then allowed to subjectively dislike your art, and that's totally cool. I have some degree of expertise in game design, so based on my training, which is sometimes intuitive-based arguments, sometimes there is like theory which I can point to, and sometimes there is like, you know, I'll share some of my opinion, basically. I'm not here to spout my opinion on political beliefs or anything like that. Frankly, I am a very apolitical person. Like, I do not feel strongly about basically any political position. I've described before that I am like a lens collector, where like all I really care about are my own lenses, for the purposes of me surviving to the next day. And it is interesting to learn things from people who have different perspectives. Not to incorporate them, but simply to understand what their perspective is. So, hopefully that's enough of a intro. we were going to be doing a few things today. First, I wanted to go over what I had in the document. Are you talking about glasses? So when I say lens, the definition of a lens is basically the perspective that you bring to any piece of logic. So an example of this for someone who is like politically charged, right, is that they might tell you that everything is politics. And I think a large part of the reason why they do that is that politics are very important to their life and that they are able to interpret a lot of issues through a lens of politics. But the idea is that ultimately they are choosing to bring some perspective to what they're interpreting and then reading it through the lens of politics. This is really important to know because I've disclosed this before as far as like design is concerned. Now, obviously, I would probably be more interested in making like an anime 2D tactics game or something with like cute character designs. I could probably wake up in the morning and feel very inspired to do that. But if I am told to do my job, it is not my place to question like what like the belief structure of the producer is. Like, it's just my job to like make the game good. Oh no. Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest with you, I am concerned. I am a little concerned because, you know, the reason why I felt strongly about doing this was like, again, I think it should be okay for people to express their, like, I guess, opinions, beliefs through art in the way that they would like to do it, right? And I really wanted to figure out if this, like, again, if the reception of this thing was purely based on a subjective artistic disagreement, basically, or if it's kind of bad. And I think that there's often like a mix of both, right? Like it can be a little bit of column A and column B, which is what I'm guessing. But yeah. So we're gonna see if we can figure it out. So let's go through this document. So my thought for it was that I have written game design documents before. And I want to be clear in saying that I don't actually think documentation is that important. Because the joke about documentation is that you write it and then nobody reads it. Or like you write it and then you present it to the team and then still nobody reads it. Right? Which is hilarious because you might ask yourself, well, what is the purpose in doing it at all if literally no one's going to read it? And the answer is when projects become very complicated, people at least want to be able to find something and be like, hey, was this what we were thinking about for this thing? Like, I don't know, right? And there are some things that I think will be a little bit more, will be more important for our purposes. Because again, I'm going to be trying to make a baseline for how to evaluate the design. Because what might feel a little off, I guess, documentation isn't important. Oh my fucking god. I'm just going to get trolled all stream, aren't I? Okay, so the point is that, like, what might be disappointing to people is that even if I don't really agree with the opinions of the developers, I'm gonna be playing in their ball court, right? So it's like, if they say that words are powerful, I don't really get to say words aren't powerful. Like, I don't get to make claims or arguments that say, no, words don't actually do anything, because that's not the studio's design goals. I don't get to determine that, right? So, what I'm thinking might actually happen is that, like, I'm gonna set up the design goals, we're gonna play the game, the design goals will probably, like, if the thing had a kicking soundtrack, might be better. Yeah, it's like, what I'm imagining is going to happen is that I'm going to set up the design goals really well. I'll understand what the studio is trying to do. And then the game is just going to be that. And then I'll be like, yep, I mean, they're doing the thing they set out to do. Yep. Okay. But I don't, like, frankly, I don't know. Like, I really don't know. And that's the thing. That's why I was like, ooh, maybe this is, like, actually an interesting thing to do. Is because, like, guys, I actually don't know. Like, I literally don't. I haven't seen any gameplay of this game. The only people that I've seen complaining about it, like, had very wide sweeping generalization, like, things. Design isn't execution. That's not necessarily true. Design is in the execution. But the thing is, like, how do I want to say this? I think you're right. I think I actually understand what you're saying, which is that, like, whether, like, an art thing is good or bad, like, let's say the graphics are good or bad, right? The design function of what aesthetic style you chose, is, like, different from the execution of it. So I think I get that. So, but there are some things I think that have to do with execution, like more in the field of UX design and UI design. So, anyways. You can take the music, you're a better man than me. Listen, guys, I'm saying, like, I don't know. That's why I'm doing it, because I was genuinely curious. I'm like, what's going on with this one? Like, I don't know. But yeah, so concentrate your ideas, you and others, plausible legal liability, a psyop of universities to justify their education system, a meme. Yeah, I think you can also tell a good story with said themes, so yeah, appreciate you trying to see through their perspective. Yeah, so again, like, I have some intuitive qualifiers for how I'm going to look at these things. And like, there are maybe some principles that I'll be able to point out. Oh, I'm realizing I didn't make a section on self-determination theory, but I would like to put that somewhere. This is probably a good thing to explain before I do anything else, but I think a frame of reference or a lens that I find very valuable for analyzing game design is self-determination theory, which basically describes 3 primary reasons that someone would be motivated to do something. And it is it's a good backdrop for explaining why someone might want to play a video game, or why they would, like, engage with the gameplay loop of the video game. I don't have an opinion. I'm sorry, Cheese. So yeah. To quickly explain, there are 3 things. The first one is expression of mastery. So, for example, someone might practice piano because they want to express mastery. So, we're going to get into all that stuff. Just let me do this first, because this is probably one of the most important things that I will explain. Expressing mastery. So, someone might be motivated to play piano if it allows them to express their mastery of piano. Someone who is playing a visual novel will feel better about that visual novel if they feel like they're picking the right choices to advance their path with a character. So if you say something, like if I gift a character in Fire Emblem a gift that they really like, and it shows the double arrows of like, wow, they really like that, that means that I expressed mastery over the game systems and got rewarded for it. So it would motivate me to try and look for the right gift to give NPCs so that they really like it. That would be like skill expression or mastery would motivate somebody to play a video game. The second one is agency. So if someone gets to choose how they play the game or what they want to do with the system, that is agency. So again, in a visual novel, let's say that it does matter how many questions you get right in the visual novel to, like, again, advance the path. But every once in a while, you'll get the option to, like, say something a little bit mean or, like, flirty to the person in the path. Like, you bully them a little bit, right? It would be bad if choosing that dialogue option immediately ended the run, right? Like, the punishment does not fit what the player wants to do. Like, the player wants to have some freedom. So they understand that they could just pick the right answer, and then the right answer will bring them to the end of the path, and then they'll, like, you know, get married to their visual novel waifu, whatever. But while you're doing that, you might get the opportunity to say something again, like kind of weird and flirty and stuff. So you might choose that option, right? So it would be a good idea to value a player's agency and allow them to choose the options that they would like to choose. The third one is relatedness. This often is either the social aspect of the game or often the narrative or characters. So relatedness pertains to, I can see myself in this character. I feel like the decisions that this character wants to make are the decisions I want to make. What would another one be? When I talk about this game to other people, I can make a social connection with those people based on how we both experience this game. So, like, having moments that are good to talk about, or like big story reveals, or stuff like that, that's all pertains to relatedness. So we can see that all three of these buckets are very applicable to how people interact with games, which is why the framing is very useful. So you basically add another layer on top of that when you add other things. So you go like, our design pillar is, we want the jumping to feel very floaty and like you're on the moon. Like, that's our high level design pillar goal. So we can think about, what is the mastery of that system? So it's like, what cool things can the player express their mastery of with this moon jump mechanic? What other ways can they use it? Oh, did it not? Did it repeat? I should have had this on repeat. Music, please. Oh, why wasn't that on repeat? There we go. That was about to get really awkward. Okay, so moon jumping. Agency is like, when do I get to moon jump? How often do I get to moon jump? Like, do I get to choose to not moon jump or do moon jump? I don't, like, when do you get to choose these things? And then I guess relatedness is usually less applicable to a mechanic, right? That's a little more off base. But yeah, you can see how you tie in like a design pillar into like self-determination theory. Yeah, okay. I think a good example of agency is Last of Us 2. The reason people felt so repulsed, I guess, by the story is they were playing as a character that was killing the characters they loved. The ability to not be able to act or stop Abby made the story very divisive. That is correct, Rance. That is an extremely good example of where the player's agency was not respected. And instead they were forced to do something they did not want to do. I think in some cases that can be okay for the purposes of, again, showing a particular side of the story or something. I think overall it's probably not great still, but you know, we can see why there would be dissonance there, and it's because the player didn't get to choose, right? Like, what if the player... Think about it this way. If we know that the main protagonist of Last of Us 2 was, like, Ellie, right? We would rather, with our agency, when we're playing the antagonist, in our opinion, right? I think they tried to go with, like, a non-dualism approach with that game or whatever, but... What if, like, when you played as Abby, you could just fuck up the missions? Like you just choose to make them go poorly. And then when you choose to make them go poorly, when Ellie gets to the final encounter, they're very ill-prepared for her. That would be a way that the players can still play from that person's perspective, still advance the story, still get the major narrative beats, but they can choose. Like, their agency is like, they are not happy with this character. So they want to choose to, like, do bad. Instead, you could be a teacher. Thank you. I used to teach music. Thumbs up. The reason I stopped teaching music was because it took me too long to prepare lessons to teach well. And I wasn't being compensated for my prep hours. Okay, so let's try and get into what I wrote in the document. Frankly, I don't really remember what I wrote because I wrote this at like 2 in the morning, but we have 9 sections to go through. So let's try scrolling down and seeing what we put. Okay. Oh, the thing about documentation that I was going to say, again, documentation can be sorted into whatever way you want it to. This is just kind of a general, I wrote some stuff, it's pretty bare bones, I'm hoping to add to it as we play, and then maybe figure some things out. So, executive game overview. So this is just, like, what is the game? Interestingly, when I went to Steam, the game doesn't have the actual tags for what the thing is. And I'm just like, what the frick? Like, yeah. Honestly expected this to be a discover on stream kind of deal, but this is probably better. That's how I pitched it, Poi, but I felt like I wanted to be prepared today. And then we'll find out. I know this is tangential, but in your opinion, is there a way you can use dissonance as a way to keep enforced feeling on the player? Could you reword that? But you're saying dissonance, right? So, like, a player doesn't feel great about the game, right? Like, either a ludonarrative dissonance or something like we use, for example, something like getting over it is like a dissonance with the controls, right? Like, the controls are very awkward to deal with. So that'd be an example of, like, the UX in getting over it is terrible. Like, the controls are bad. But it makes a good experience. It's, like, very compelling. Okay, so, it's a 3D adventure game. There's exploration, there's narrative and combat and stuff. I tried to just summarize what I found. Yeah, so it's a story-driven, single-player adventure game about a group of traveling smugglers. They didn't use that term. Transporting a stolen package Their cover story is they are musicians. The stolen package and the smuggling is both illegal and has provoked retaliation from the people. Again, I wanted to use the word gang, but like they said people in the description. Who the package was stolen from. The player will build relationships with the characters and their crew while overcoming adversity from law enforcement and the people trailing them. It is a character-driven narrative with a focus on dialogue. This is to be demonstrated through the power of words. So again, this is something I intuited. I'm not sure. Again, like this will probably be edited. If you were writing this as a studio, you would want this to be a little bit more encompassing, and like these are all things that your team would nod to. So like for me, I'm on a team of 1, and I don't get a reality check from the other people on my team saying we might want to change something. Just for the record, so, you know. Okay, so for the purposes of the analysis, despite majority positive reviews, this got changed to mixed now. It's like 67%. And majority, it's not even majority, it was mostly positive, and then now it's thing. Is your dream job just VTubing? Maybe. I don't know. I do a little bit of everything, Cheese, so, you know. I think my problem is that I can't really... It's hard to sit down with things. Yeah, so I like talking to people. I like talking to people about the things that I feel like I understand. Yeah, so Dustborn appears to have been received divisively. It is being criticized as a woke game for a non-existent modern audience. Again, these were the words that I heard. This is not my opinion. I'm just saying these are the things that I heard. The purpose of taking an informal documented analysis of the game's design, akin to a game design document, is to elucidate whether or not this is a game that is actually performed well or poorly, and if any relevant axes of game design are responsible for the outcome. That is the purpose. Like, I don't know, man. I haven't even played the game yet. You know what I mean? So, I figured we would do this. This has a little more discovery to it. So, a team charter is something that you would do with a studio that you plan to work on either multiple games with or just a game or something. The purpose of a team charter is more about, like, I guess this is 1.2, not 1.1. The purpose of a team charter is more to have, like, aligned goals, right? So, like, I can tell you or talk to you, like, if we are in conflict and be like, okay, let's try to figure out this conflict. We are both committed to making a game that has smooth movement. We said that we want to make games that have smooth movement in it. So, like, let's try to figure it out on that axis. We're on the same team. That is the purpose of doing this. It's also for declaring, like, team roles and stuff. I could not find the credits for this game. I shit you not, I swear I was searching like 20 minutes and I could not find the credits of this game. Like, damn it. So, okay, so studio goals. Now, this was interesting because this is the Red Thread website, which is, again, I am not judging what the contents of their studio ideology is. I am just trying to reflect accurately what they believe. So let's read this. Games, I haven't read this yet, by the way. Games with soul for players who love stories. So they care about, like, the emotional resonance of story-driven games. And they care about players who love stories. They want to make good stories. They're a narrative studio. Red Thread is an independent game developer and publisher based in Oslo, Norway. We are storytellers, so again, they're narrative focused. We tell our stories using unique strengths of our medium. So this is interesting. Why they gotta be from Norway? You know, it's really funny, Poi. When I saw this, I was like, first thing Poi's gonna say is not they're not mine. Okay, so again, we are storytellers. We tell our stories using the unique strengths of our medium. So they want to use the strengths of video games. What did Norway do to you? No, Poi is just, I mean, you know, I'm not gonna... Poi has donated using the Norwegian currency before. Okay. So, we tell our stories using unique strengths. So again, so this kind of means that they want to use the strengths of video games, so the interactive part of the narrative or the game, in order to tell their stories. So we can probably write that. So studio goals. Let's actually write some stuff. Welcome, Cesar. So, what was it again? We care about making narrative-based games. We want to use the unique strengths of games as a storytelling medium. Again, these can be very, like, high level. I'm not going to touch that, but definitely when they were from Norway, I thought of you. So, okay. We want to use our unique strengths to tell of our unique strengths of games as a storytelling medium. Okay, our mission is to create games with soul for a global and diverse audience of players who love stories across a wide range of genres and platforms. So, the thing I'm not sure about this is that I don't know if in this case they are trying to outline that they want to develop for a modern audience or if they want to develop for widespread appeal. Because you could, like, say that a diverse audience would be the most widespread appeal, right? Like, if you want to hit the most people and most different people, then you want to hit the most people. Maybe? But I'm gonna go ahead and say that they probably want to make, you know, how do you say it? Like, for a modern audience. So, like, we want to make I'm gonna scroll down a bit. Emotionally resonant games for the modern brackets diverse audience. Again, no judgment. This is just what they're saying. Okay. To us, soul signifies depth, diversity, delight. So they care about, like, narratives which make you think, that have some depth to them. They want to have, like, diversity, I guess modern audiences, right? And delight. So they want it to be fun. So we care about the soul of a game. To us, soul means... what did they say? To us, soul means depth, meaning there's a lot of story to dig into, complicated ideas worth thinking about. That's how I see it. Okay. Diversity. Outlining many perspectives with people of many different backgrounds. Okay. What's next? Delight. The game should be enjoyable to people. Okay. Our values drive our creative... oh, sorry. I didn't read the rest of it. It means games that are handcrafted with love, featuring compelling personal narratives, engaging game mechanics, and immersive worlds populated with multicultural characters. So again, they do specifically care about, like, multiculturalism. No colon after means or create. Wait, where? I do this. Like this? Is there... Where's create? Or was it... Here. It means games that are handcrafted to create. Alright, I'm gonna not. It's okay. Okay, diversity, outlining multiculturalism, which for the record, by the way, in case anyone wasn't sure about, like, I guess why I'm doing something like this, or why you would ever want to do something like this, you probably want to do this if you're applying for jobs, just for the record. Random advice. You can literally be like, hey man, I like games with soul because they have depth and diversity and are fun. To me, depth means making handcrafted things with love. And you literally just regurgitate the shit on their site. Just for the record. It's way too annoying to do that every single time, but you know, don't get filtered by not putting shit in your resume. Okay. Engage in game mechanics, immersive populated worlds. Okay, so immersive populated worlds. Okay, so immersive populated worlds. So that must mean like lots of people to interact with, lots of random interactions that make the world feel alive. Diversity is a word with a bit of baggage, though. I agree. So again, I will, from time to time, share my opinion. I would not personally use it as a mission statement because there is baggage. I'm not explicitly against the idea, right? Like, sure, it's good on face value. It just, like, doesn't read as well, I think. It's a smart idea. I didn't even think of it as an application. Yes. So you can literally be like, so if I'm looking for someone to work with and I go like, I care about people who actually listen to what the fuck I'm saying. And you tell me you are an active listener who likes discussing game design ideas, then I will hire you. Oh god. Holy shit. Okay. I'm fine. I did not just almost die. Okay. So, soul was defined. Our values drive our creative decisions, resulting in games with personality, a point of view, and purpose. Okay. So they want to show... we care about showing... what is this? Personality. Which I guess means, like, our personal opinions and experiences? Question mark? Whenever I put a question mark in brackets, it's because I'm not, like, 100% sure. A point of view and purpose. We care about showing a particular perspective. And we set out on explicit goals. Yeah? Okay. Alright. Considering the subject matter of the games they make, or at least Dustborn, they seem fine with that baggage. Yes. So, good thing to consider is that they are selecting for people who feel similarly about them by outlining all of this stuff. Which is fine, based on, again, the types of games they're trying to make. Someone's job, resume to be developer of Senran and Kagura. I like boobs. I like bikinis. I've never had sex with a girl. The team. He's perfect. Okay, so there's the value statement. So far we've released these games. We have 15 team members. I swear I saw like 12 or something. Anyways, we're gonna get to budget and calculations at the end. I did do a section on that. We're represented by these people. Yeah, and then I think this stuff is not as important. Okay, in Chinese legend, the gods would connect certain individuals with an invisible red thread. And these individuals were thus destined to meet, form a connection, and help each other. Okay, I mean, that's kind of cute. I don't know. Okay, so. All right. Honestly, you would normally have like 3 strong pillars here. But again, this is kind of what they care about. So, is that true? I don't know. I think so. I'm not as up to date on Chinese mythology, but that sounds accurate. I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a thing about destiny in any kind of mythology. Okay, so yeah, so studio goals. Of course, clearly. Okay, so I want to outline this. When you are making design decisions, you can look at these and literally say, hello, is the game we are making using the unique strengths of games as a storytelling medium? Are we doing that? Yes or no? So, this is my personal pet peeve. I recognize that this is a design decision and you are allowed to do what you want. When you're playing Genshin Impact and they put you into a visual novel for 30 minutes of people standing around in a circle talking at each other, are they using the unique strengths of the game as a storytelling medium? No. So, again, let's say we're designing a narrative system and we go, okay, it's going to be a visual novel system that just goes forward. You can't go back, you can't interact, you can't have any dialogue options or anything or whatever. I would say that that is not using the unique strength of games as a storytelling medium. Right? Emotionally resonant games for the modern or diverse audience. So we need to make content that is emotionally resonant for the modern or diverse audience. Is this design decision making an emotionally resonant game for a modern or diverse audience? Yes or no? That just sounds like a TV show. Exactly. Welcome, Lord Peace. I'm doing all right. Okay, so this, they did have a value statement, right? But usually what you would put here is less so about the game you're making and more so about how we believe treating people and other people on the team should be. So if it's like, hey, we just generally want to respect each other. Very simple, very blanket, and you go like, we just think that it's important for the team members to respect each other. So if you're in a design discussion and someone's like, that's stupid, you're stupid, literally never talk ever again, someone might remember that it's like, hey man, like let's try to like give him some respect. He was saying something. Let him cook. Like just hear him out. Right? So this is where you would probably put something like we believe each team member should be respected. And those are very high level, like wavy in the clouds ideas, ideologies, whatever. But the purpose is again to just be like, hey, what are the rules of engagement when we are talking? Like, what do we believe in? You can also talk about things in relation to games, not necessarily the games that you're making, but say that like we care about making narrative-based games, but we just care about narrative games in general. So like you have that underlying, we all care about narrative games in general, right? So yeah, I'm not going to fill this out, but you would frequently put this here. You would also normally, a team charter is a separate document. I just put it as a section. Because again, like the team charter would have more things on it. But I think these are the important things for the purposes of us like determining whether the game was good or not. Okay, so core gameplay loop. Gameplay loops are weird. I personally don't think they're that indicative of how you make a good game, to be completely honest with you. But they are a hypothetical tool for understanding what is happening. So, I haven't played the game. I don't know where they are starting the gameplay loop or ending the gameplay loop or what gameplay loop they're talking about, whether that's the combat loop, the dialogue loop, the narrative loop, the relationship loop, the loop of the general progression, the loop of the narrative, like which one are we talking about? We're talking about the core gameplay loop? I don't know. Still not clear enough. So I just put stuff. So, the game is about transporting a package, likely to be stopped by various law enforcement or outlaws, con artists trying to intercept the package. Game probably has a narrative opener for an area that leads into conflict in that area featuring the antagonist group. Explore around the area and solve problems through combat or word-related skills. I don't know. The group is able to settle after the main conflict and have a heartwarming narrative moment, which then moves into the next area. If this is exactly what happens in the game, I'm going to laugh my ass off. It's very vague, but listen. Narrative opener, frame the conflict, do some gameplay stuff, solve the conflict, the narrative arc closes, and you go to the next area. This is very vague and overarching, but if it is exactly literally this, I will, like, piss myself. Okay, so observations isn't filled out yet because we would fill this out as we're playing. Okay, sorry. So this is the red thread stuff. Okay. The choice to make us choose decisions that don't matter, like, bro, that makes the pacing so bad in Genshin. Yeah, I agree. Makes the story so much better when it's not there. Yes. It's like if the decisions mattered in any way, shape, or form, that'd be great. Okay, there's the stuff about the Chinese myth. There's also Japan one that adds the moon. In Christianity, there's an angel that connects people, so I guess in every myth they have a red thread thing. Yeah, again, it's less about red thread and more about, like, destiny and stuff, I guess. That's the way that I see it. Okay, so, design pillars and rationales. I did not fill this out. And again, I don't know what the design pillars of the studio are. I couldn't possibly know what they are. I would never know what they are. But I'm going to try and infer some stuff, and then maybe write some garbage. So, typically you would use 3, because again, you can make arguments for the design based on these 3 things. The general vibe I got was the power of words. That's very obvious. They seem to value diversity. And for lack of a better way of explaining it, there was a vibe of, like, fuck the system. They're talking about the divided states of America and beating the law enforcement and we're gonna be the outlaws who are smuggling the package, right? So my understanding is this game cares about the general theming of the power of words, diversity, and fuck the system. Right. So we would write something here about that. So what does the power of words mean to us? And how do we describe that? Right? Like, how does this actually work in the game? Okay. So we believe that words matter. This means that narrative choices should matter. People will be responsive to narrative choices. The literal power effects of words need to be important to outline the theming. Words are powerful. I don't know, something stupid like that. Again, if I was writing this, I would probably take, like, a little bit longer. But since we're doing it live, can't help but just write some bullshit. Okay. Valuing diversity. We want to showcase multiple viewpoints of a diverse cast. Therefore, there should be, opinions and things said by characters should be inherently valuable and not undermined. So if we make story decisions that are like, I'm gonna express how I'm in emotional turmoil, and then another character is like, that's stupid. That's not really valuing multiple viewpoints or respecting your diverse cast. The struggles of the diverse cast should matter to the cast, and diverse cast should matter to the cast and the viewer. In my opinion. This means that there was a thing that I had made. This means that as a game, bridging the gap between a perspective the player does not understand and that the devs/cast understands is the responsibility of the game design. Bold. So, upholding this design pillar is the responsibility of the game designer and the narrative designer. If the narrative does not bridge the gap of the player's understanding and the dev's understanding of this thing, then they are not valuing diversity. In my opinion. Okay. F the system. We are rebels. Punks. F the system. Generally, the player should feel more powerful than the overarching powers that be. The player should have agency to defy the overarching systems. Conflicts and puzzles should be around overcoming the what's it called? I was gonna say depressive nature, but the overcoming the adversity of the system as painted by the cast of characters. Oppressive. There you go. So, here are my design pillars as I see them right now. I wanted to add another section that would update these. So, again, let's take a step back and assume that there was someone who cared about these things. Like, we're going to put ourselves in the mindset of a player who wants words to matter, who values diversity, and who wants to say fuck the system. If you made a good game with these design pillars, and you very clearly laid out, like, yes, the characters that are in this game share, like, very different perspectives, maybe some that you haven't seen, but they're very articulate, and they say, like, listen, this is just my experience. It hurts to be like this. Like, that's emotionally resonant. Words have power. You tell that character, after they're emotionally vulnerable with you, that, hey, it's gonna be okay. My words matter to this character. They are powerful. Fuck the system. I'm about to blow up some goddamn bad. That is a joke. For legal reasons, that is a joke. Fuck the system. I'm gonna be running goddamn circles around the law enforcement in this game. Maybe this game could be okay. I think that these are decent design pillars that could actually make a good game for the audience that cares about it. That being said, what would it look like if, I guess I could go 1.4. This is like observed design pillars. So it's like what? Oh, I just scrolled. Keep forgetting you guys can't really see the bottom of the screen. So we're gonna reevaluate these. This is what I think. And then we'll find out maybe what they actually put in the game. So, schedule and deliverables. This is not really that important for this. But I figured at least by next week, we should probably be done the research phase. We'll probably end up buying and playing the game. And then there should be a point in time where we reevaluate this document. I guess it's called a GAD instead of a GDD. I think someone made a joke about that. Yeah, and don't forget to make the actions either have consequences or foreshadow the story's plot. Exactly. That is correct. Even like small little things, just for the record, like let's say you're having a conversation with someone about like eating food. And then like you have the option of really talking about this food thing, or you have the option of not talking about this food thing. Both of them kind of like get to the end of the thing and you sort of like still have the narrative beat. But if you talk to them about eating a sandwich and then they're like, man, you know what? I'm actually kind of hungry. Conversation ends, it goes back to the kind of hub world, and they're walking over to the kitchen to like make themselves a sandwich because they were hungry. Incredible. Your choices matter. Your choices matter. If you don't, they don't go and do that. What kind of sandwich? I don't know. Okay, art direction again. I'm not really sure, or wasn't really sure what to put here because I haven't really played the game yet. But like, there's like sci-fi stuff and robots, but like they drive cars. There's like kind of a comic book aesthetic, like punk, cel-shaded kind of. Oh, I wanted to add here like 3.2 in references and inspirations. So this is like, I think it was kind of akin to like Walking Dead, Telltale, sort of like this. This is just cyberpunk? No, I don't know, man. Honestly, most stories have a strong theming about the system being corrupt, as A, it's very relatable to the mass majority of people, and B, society isn't perfect. I do hope the cops aren't, like corrupt? I don't know. I wasn't sure like what other things to put here. I guess cartoonishly evil. As for the narrative-based game, it's hard to write a good story with one-note villains. Exactly. So this is like a heuristic, I guess. Telltale as an inspiration for your choices matter is not a good sign. Well, this is for aesthetic purposes. This is under the art direction section. This isn't for choices matter. That is funny though. Yeah, and then what's his name? Is it David Cage, the guy who made like Detroit Become Human? Like those games. Sean, David Cage games. They also kind of have like a similar. Oh, I guess Borderlands has a similar aesthetic. Maybe this? I don't know. I think they're a little more realistic looking. Semi-realistic, I think these games are. But anyways, I don't know if I have much to say about this yet, and I don't know if I'm going to revisit the section or add more stuff. I don't know. Okay, so narrative. Again, I don't know a lot of this stuff yet. Quantic Dream is the studio he was on. Who are the publishers for this game? Ah, interesting. Let your villains be realistic. If you want them to be taken seriously, have nuance with them. Yeah, I think the important thing is that you understand the motivations of the villain. Because you have to, like, if their reasons are stupid, and everyone can see that their reasons are stupid, then no one's gonna take them seriously. Oh. Okay, yeah, so, yeah, PAX stole a package. They're smuggling it from Pacifica to Nova Scotia. PAX aims to perform the smuggling operation via bus, and they're traversing the divided states of America, whatever. Okay. I'm assuming the story will progress by the states as major stages of the progression. This would outline how often the... Excuse me. The reason I'm pressing backslash is because it's my toggle mute button. Yeah, so I'm assuming it's going to kind of go by state. That's my guess. Again, I haven't played. There's light sci-fi. Yeah, the main character... so interestingly, this was one thing that I wasn't sure about. I was like, they have basically like power words. So maybe they're like a bard from D&D, right? This is what they put on the Steam page. And then there's like... we probably add stuff. I wanted to track the narrative arcs of the game so that we can look at them later. Okay, so market research. This one, again, listen, I don't know. I think the way that you would actually do this is you would interview people, you would do a lot more research. I made a very generalized understanding of at least the people who have commented negatively on this game. So I was like, because like, what is a modern audience? I don't know, man. It's like people kind of ascribe it to woke ideologies and also like a very particular aesthetic. Like there are color choices that people make that sort of do this thing. So again, this is also games that tend to comment on these themes. Again, I don't know, but this seems to be, when people say this and people say this in regard to a game, they seem to look kind of like this and include this. No judgment. I'm just saying that appears to be what people are talking about. They generally try to avoid, like, objectification and stuff. Right? I think that this is fair. But yeah, so it's like games that appear to do this seem to be modern audiences. So. This part... Okay, I would like to preface this part. Did I write a thing about this? Let me see. Okay. The themes and aesthetic remind me a lot of Life is Strange 2, while that power reminds me a lot of the power of the MC in Life is Strange Before the Storm, both of which were terrible games. Okay, so I want to be clear about this next part. So, I wanted to do personas. I wanted to do an exercise of personas, which people can feel free to chime in on. I think the general idea of a persona might come across as, like, stereotyping, at worst. But realistically, the purpose of a persona is not to, like, say that this is an all-encompassing person or this is exactly what that person is. The purpose of a persona is to inform design decisions, like small design decisions or maybe bigger design decisions, regarding the general behaviors of that person. Bro, What Remains of Edith Finch is way better than Life is Strange. I think I can agree with that. I thought that game was alright. It was, like, kind of tragic and stuff. It was okay. Okay, so, personas. The purpose of creating personas is to capture different interests, categories, interest categories which may influence game design decisions such as character design, story beats, and overall vibe. For example, an individual who is characterized to use certain social medias may influence references to that social media, or how a person may conceive of social media in the universe of the game. So, let's try this. And let's try not to get canceled. Please. Again, that is not the purpose of why we're doing this, but it's to generally get a vibe for who might play our game. What do we think Coda, the Starbucks barista millennial, does in their free time? The first Life is Strange was not good, but the power interplayed very well with the type of game it was. I get the feeling that there is a slight delay in the broadcast. But let's try and do this together. I want it to be interactive. But it's like, what does this person care about? Maybe they care about coffee. Maybe they care about music. We're just off topic? Okay. I just wanted to double check and make sure, like, what was the general... How far away were we? Okay, so music. They like... What kind of music do you think they like? Like punk rock? Punk rock music? What else do we think? Maybe one more thing. And what other interests do they maybe have? So they care about coffee, maybe pop. Yeah, pop music probably. Since themes F the system, they probably care about freedom. We will get to that. They're a millennial, so they probably care about Harry Potter and Star Wars. Star Wars. So, I just want to clarify and show that this isn't, again, to stereotype and say that all of these people are like this. It's that potentially there is a millennial person who has seen these different sources of media which influence how they interact with other media. So maybe they like these things, who knows? Yeah, so music, maybe they play guitar, sure. They play guitar. Plays guitar. So what do we feel like they need? I think they need a raise. A raise. They want money. What else do they need? They need to feel respected, sure. They want respect. As in, they want their decisions to matter and for people to respect their decisions. Characters respect them. A union? That might be applicable to another one. They need love, sure. They want to feel loved. See? These might seem like very simple things, but can you see how, like, literally a game that could give them these things would make them want to buy it? What if they had a game where they were promised they were gonna, well, not like actually make money, but the character's gonna hit it big by smuggling this package, and they're gonna have their ragtag group of people who respect them, and they get to feel loved by the characters in the game. Sure. Behaviors. NFT game. Sure, they want to express themselves. I wonder if we want to do that for a different one. Because it doesn't all need to be in one person. Maybe I'll speedrun the other ones, or not do the other ones, I don't know. Feel loved, they want to express themselves, sure. Behaviors. This I don't know as much. Because behaviors and aspirations, like, okay, so aspirations. Wants to be a rock star. Sure. Quit their job. Sure. Weed blaze it. Okay, so they probably dergs. They They take the same route home every day via car. Well, via public transit. Sure. I thought that went to needs. They don't need weed. They just do weed. They want to be seen as morally correct or ethical. Behaviors. This is more like things that they do in their everyday life. They... Or maybe how they react to things. They get upset with chatty customers. They value freedom. F the system. They also value the music with soul. That doesn't make sense. Music with emotional resonance. Because soul music is different and has implications. Okay, aspirations. They want to be a rock star and quit their job. Sure. Okay. They value storytelling. How do we say that in a different way? It's like they value... roleplay. Just in general. Like any kind of thing where they make their own story. They like that. Jason is a recent high school grad and activist. They like... what are people actually doing, I guess, when they... What social media do they use? TikTok? They're probably using TikTok. Making... Sweeping statements on TikTok. I was gonna say Twitter, but I don't know if current high school grads use Twitter. Are the kids on these TikToks nowadays? I'm so fucking old, dude. I'm too old for this shit. Oh shit, we're making a Word doc? Yes, Lux. We are making a game analysis document. We have successfully identified what the studio's goals are and what their core beliefs are, and have an executive summary of the game and what is in the game and why we are doing this research and some other stuff like what we think the core gameplay loop might be and the pillars that I think would make a good game. Here's the schedule. It's not very robust. Okay. Actually, yeah, so currently we're making not caricatures, personas of our target audience. Okay, sweeping statements on TikTok. Makes memes. What else do they do? I'm gonna change this name. Oh, what do I make this? Sure, I don't know. Changing that name. Okay. Fortnite? Fortnite. I love Fortnite. Writing fanfics about cafe AUs? Don't worry, I got you covered with that one. We're gonna get to the fanfic girl in a second. Okay. Let's try speedrunning this. They need... So, for this character, I was actually interested in this persona because it feels like they need validation. Because they're at a point in their life where their opinions aren't really taken that seriously, and maybe they have, like, anxiety or something. Or, anxious. First time having opinions. Not real opinions. First time, like, having respected? I don't know. Respected opinions? Something like this. So, validation, like, they want to be comforted. What is the term here? Reassurance. They want to be reassured. Cozy. Game. They want to be cozy. Relaxed. Life is very stressful. They're anxious all the time. They want to be relaxed. Okay, so what do? Doom scroll. Let's go. Oh, they want to be heard? Sure. Okay. Behaviors. They doom scroll. Lose at Fortnite. Win? Question mark? What else? Awkward with girls. How would they say that? I think not even just with girls, just like talking in general. Maybe, no, actually, perfect. Okay. So let's make it specifically, very specifically, or whatever, whoever they want to talk to. Difficulty talking to people they're interested in. Okay. So interestingly, it's not general anxiety. They specifically have problems when it happens to deal with people they like have a crush on or like they like. So, values. Do we count being overly aggressive, violent as issues with communication? Usually. I think so. What do they value? What does this person care about? Getting a job, maybe? Like, not even getting a job, making money. Being famous. They watch TikTok all day. What else do they care about? Empathy? Emotions? Hearing people out? Whatever they're being an activist about, yeah. The thing they're being an activist about. Wrong attention span. They want to be famous. Be famous. What else do they want to do? I don't know, maybe they want to be an engineer. Ooh. Defining themselves away from their parents' statement beliefs. That is incredible. They want to have want to be away from parents because they disagree with beliefs. So again, like, is this making sense to people? These are sweeping generalizations, right? These aren't real people. This isn't like a real thing that anyone believes about anybody. But we can see this is an extremely strong theming for something you could put in a game like this. Right? Like getting away from authority so that you can express your beliefs somewhere else. So again, these are... It's not like you look at these like super critically later. It's just like a thought exercise. Also, I guess depending on how much you want to actually look into it, I'm not a marketing specialist. That's another thing I should have said, is that I'm a designer. I'm literally the bard of the development industry, which is like, I half know how to do something and half know how to do something else. Lavender, the office worker. Shit, where is it? Behaviors, fanfics in AUs about my OCs. Let's go! We're shitposting satire with a grain of truth. Yeah, it's not really satire. It's just like, okay, what if we were trying to have a pulse? Yeah, none of these words are in the Bible. Okay, fanfics and AUs about my OCs. Someone said that. Also, who else? Sure. What else? Interests. Is a furry. Sorry, I know I'm laughing, but it's because, like, I think using that as a generalizing principle sounds bad to write on paper. Okay. What else? I guess just likes cats. Feeds cat 1 hour after getting home. Shows people cat pictures. Needs a mocha latte. And Jesus wept about his OC dying in an AU. Girl boss side hustle apart from her office job? Ooh, sure. Interests. Is an aspiring artist on Twitter.com. On X, formerly known as Twitter.com. Escapism from modern day. Sure. Work sucks. I hate work. Get me out. Yeah, Twitter, formerly known as... Wait, what is that? Shut the fuck up! No. Work sucks. Escapism. Does not want to be reminded about work. Not. Liz, no, remind me about work. Oh, the website formerly known as Twitter. Got it. Okay. Work sucks. I hate work. Get me out. Hi, Kane. Welcome. What else do they need? They need a break, for sure. They need their cat to love them. That was expressionism, since they're an artist. Sure. Maybe they like, what is it called? It's not poppy colors. It's a very specific, it's like when the colors are kind of light. Behave, sure. Actually, what do they want? Vacation? A foreign country? Just a vacation. Or, oh wait, pastel. Poppy and pastel colors. They love that shit. Rant, stop it! That's my OC! Stop pet playing my OC, how dare you? Okay, aspirations. I think they want a raise. Job's not all that bad. They get money. They do want a raise. I'm lost, sorry, I just came to... Okay, so. We are writing a document to analyze Dustborn. Using my background in game design. I am formatting it similar to how you would format a game design document, including information regarding the game, why we're doing this, what we think the team values, what the team members are, I couldn't find the credits, what the studio goals are, what their core beliefs are, which is kind of like just up there, what we think the core gameplay loop is going to be, what it's actually going to be after we observe it, design pillars that I think are good, and etc. So, we are currently at personas, which is part of market research. Can you just say it's trash? No. The explicit purpose of doing this is so that we can find out if it is actually bad. Something can be bad subjectively, which this game is almost assuredly going to be subjectively bad to me. However, I am trying to give it the fairest shot I can. And I'm trying to show people that you can do that. By doing all of this. Want to be a famous artist, they value pragmatism. Being pragmatic? Would an artist be overly pragmatic? Needs. Values. I'm assuming that means they want to be pragmatic. Or does it mean something else? Again, art career. Take less office hours. They want to raise and also to have less hours. Values expressionism. Yes. Shows people cat pictures. Oh, they valued loved ones. Okay, sure, yeah. Yeah. That's there. My apologies, Ken. I just did not understand. It sounds like pragmatic, which is very different. Okay, so here are our personas. Basically, what I want to do with this is if they make a Star Wars reference, then we can go, that speaks to Coda. If there is a point in time where they talk to someone who is working in a Starbucks or a coffee shop. I thought the Gen Z persona was the previous one. Yeah, I guess so. No, but Coda isn't... They want to be a rock star. And I guess Jason is the Gen Z one, but yeah. You got older? Wow! Hey! Happy birthday, Kane. Congratulations becoming older. I will read and throw shade at target demographics all day. Yes, so again, the purpose... I want to be very specific about why we are making a target demographic persona. It is not to assume that we know exactly every single person in a target demographic. It's just that if I am not actually in this demographic, what can I understand about the behaviors of that person in order to better market to them? So if I made a commercial about one of the characters writing a fanfic about an alternative universe with their OC, then Lavender, the office worker, might literally be like, oh shit, wait, that's literally me for real, for real. And then they buy the game. Right? So for example, I watch VTubers. Y'all are acting like he's crazy, but companies pay lots of money for this info. Yeah, exactly. So I watch VTubers. You know what anime sounded like it would be a really good watch for me that I didn't end up watching? The one that was about VTuber culture. And it was all VTuber memes. And that ad got sent to me probably because I watch VTubers. So, do target demographics work? Big shrug. Okay, rough notes. Section includes discipline headers for rough notes sorting and will be transferred to 7.1 after thoughts are finalized into a tangible point. Notes added to 7.1 may also be added to relevant GDD, GAD sections. Here are the different sections where I will put stuff while we are playing. And then I might actually put it into something else here. Budget and sales. This is the most napkin math you will ever see. Please take all of these numbers with an extreme grain of salt. Okay? Do we understand? Do we understand that we are going to take this with a grain of salt? Because I am not an accountant, I am not a producer, and I am also not a project manager. However, I have had to do a budget like maybe twice. So this is napkin math budget, just to prove a point. I'm pretty sure I found a number where it said 12 people worked on the game. LinkedIn says 11 to 50. It says total view all 20 employees. They said 15 on their website. Oh, I should probably do this, right? 1 second. Okay. Norwegian studio, Red Third Games. It may have taken anywhere between 4 to 5 years to develop based on something I found on Twitter. and also other people saying it may have taken 4 or 5 years. Norway does not have a minimum wage, so I wasn't sure what to base it off of. Lowest minimum wage in US is apparently $7.25 an hour. Americans can correct me here. It is unlikely that the full staff at Red Thread Games is working full hourly or was present during the entire project, assuming the initial core team size of 12 at US minimum wage or 2 at US minimum wage. With an average full-time working year of 2,087 hours, that means somewhere between this many USD per developer. The total team cost would be this per year, which means that it would be this over 4 years. So, but that's using minimum wage. So, instead of that, I could not find who worked on this game. I literally could not find who worked on this game. Let's assume there's a director, project manager, programmers, artists, lead artists, 2D artists, and narrative designers. I didn't even put game designer here. Not a real role. I was a director. Here are some averages I found from different websites in USD. That means it would cost this much USD per year, and have costed this much. Do I think this is accurate? No, not really. Probably higher TBH, since pay and prices are generally way higher in Norway than the US. I thought these were very high. Like, wow. Anyways, so this might have costed like $4 million to make. Sales. Steam takes 30%. This is a number I found on SteamDB of different websites saying how many people maybe own this game, which means they would make this much money in gross sales. Do we see the discrepancy? $4 million. This much money. Do we see it? Do we see the discrepancy? Are we $4 million, 90K in sales? So, my first tangible argument, this game astronomically failed. Probably. You also need to cover the cost of renting the building to build the game. Yes, this doesn't even cover legal building costs, software costs, licensing costs, travel, devs who have to travel, slots for game shows, showcases, advertising. This doesn't even cover advertising. A heuristic I was given for advertising was spend 2 times the amount of development cost you spent on the game on advertising. Or double it. Like, if you spent 4 mil on development costs, you should spend 4 mil on advertising. But again, these are all estimates. These are like estimates of USD and whatever. But, like, hey, it's not... I think you would say that financially this did not do great. However, I'm not a analyst. You know what I mean? And also I wanted to point out with this number that, like, hey, if this took 4 mil to produce, like, we've talked about government grants and stuff like Euro grants, US grants, multiple grants to pay for this thing. There's a lot of money, guys. Like, a couple grants does not pay for your development costs. So long as you're not wasting the money on Twitter ads. They would probably want to advertise to Twitter based on this persona. Or on TikTok for this persona. Okay, so this is what I wanted to do today. This is something I wanted to do. I'm gonna take a quick drink. Twitter ads are very inefficient. The targeting is really bad. I didn't know that, but interesting. Kind of curious if there was a spike of people purchasing it when people started talking about how bad it was. I have no idea. That was the same way even before it became X. Fair. Okay, so this is a practice that I was taught, was to look at reviews. Now, how many of these reviews are bots? I don't know. Who knows? But the general idea of this that we're going to do is, how do I say this? It is kind of like playtesting data. Now, unfortunately, the people who would feel like they want to write a review, like there's a bias there, right? This isn't every person who has ever played this game and every person who would ever like make a review. It's not, yeah. So this does not include everybody. However, I wanted to see if there was any trends in stuff that maybe do not look well on the rest of the other things that we have outlined. So, I wanted to, like, basically summarize what certain reviews say, basically. And be like, there are 3 people who have said this. There are 4 people who have said this. 5 people, 6 people. And then, like, look at it. They have made a game before. Supposedly, this game was actually quite good. Or they said that people said this game was good, despite there being this many negative reviews. 73 positive reviews. Apparently, this game was alright. Like, I don't know. So, reviews. Are we going to read them on stream? Wait, what do you mean? Of course we are. Okay. I think I'm probably not going to read all of them if they have story spoilers. But yes, okay. Fucking Norwegians, man. Okay. Finished Dustborn and had to cleanse my palate with Skyrim after that. Dustborn is not a game. Stop posing as one. Where do I even start? The optimization is horrendous. The coding feels like it's held together with duct tape. The collision detection is an absolute mess. Constantly clipping everywhere. It's like the basics of game design were completely overlooked. Hilarious that this person is citing the basics of game design when this is a technical problem and not a design problem. The writing, don't get me started. One-dimensional characters, a storyline with absolutely zero depth, and beyond unlikable main character with no trace of human empathy. There's no emotional connection, no reason to care about what's happening. It's just bad, plain and simple. Okay. How many parts of the core values of the studio did we just bomb? How many? I did not read these in advance. Just to be clear. Did not read these in advance. But how many? I even sorted by most recent because they default you to most helpful. And I didn't want to see all the negative reviews. I wanted to go in chronological order. We're gonna go faster with these, by the way. But yes, okay, so bad optimization. One-dimensional characters. Lack of depth. Yeah, so one-dimensional, zero depth. Actually, so one-dimensional characters. Overall story, zero depth. These are not the things you want to see based on the value statements we made at the top. Okay. Unlikable main character. No human empathy. Main character is because I'm assuming we will see different ones. Unempathic. Generally not too good to have an unempathic main character when you are trying to spout about social issues. No emotional connection, no reason to care. It's bad. Okay. I'm going to summarize this as the story was not emotionally resonant to me. So, bad optimization, one-dimensional characters, zero story depth, main character was unlikable, the story was not resonant to me. From the little I've seen, main character feels like the Forspoken girl, very mean to her friends. Okay. I was expecting good things with this one. The only thing that drew me towards it was I figured it would be a bad game that I could laugh at, but holy Jesus was my expectation. My low expectations met. Combat isn't anything special. I don't know what this is. Rhythm minigame is fun once you unlock anything besides We Are the Dustborn. The ending is honestly the weakest part. Overall, I did enjoy my experience, even if I didn't agree with the developer's ideology. Can't recommend more. 25 hours on record. 11 people found this funny. Oh, unempathic got... Unempathic. Okay, so I can probably sort this. And I think this doesn't have to do with negative or positive reviews. It's more negative or positive statements. So what this person liked was the rhythm minigame was fun. Is only fun when more songs. Or want more songs and starter song. Something like this. Okay. Ending, weakest part. I feel like I had more fun interacting with the crew in the second half. And believe me, there's a payoff if you bother investing in conversations. So, conversations matter. Likes, interacting with crew is fun. No more heroes? Okay. Ending is weak. Can't take this game too seriously. If you want to somewhat enjoy yourself, enjoy yourself. I bought it not knowing what it was. I simply saw the art style and gave it a try. The main problem is that we are supposed to believe our heroes are in their mid-30s while they all act like teenagers. I don't know who needs to hear this, but constant profanity doesn't make you look tough. Nothing against profanities, but you don't need to use in every sentence. Almost forgot. Combat is piss poor, and I suck at those rhythm minigames. I can't bring myself to dislike the thing. Okay, so this person doesn't, like, dislike the game. Combat's poor. One-dimensional characters. Swearing doesn't make you tough. This is a woke game. That's why you feel like they act like... Jesus. Okay. Okay, you can't take this one seriously. TLDR. Loved that game. Keeps me hooked. Like the GFX style in this kind of interactive movie style game. If you're not into long talks or getting a story told, this is maybe not your game. Movie like experience does not actually deliver on studio values. Worth noting. Okay. To me, 48-year-old guy grown up with an NES. Okay. Surely not what you would call a modern audience. English is not my native language. Okay. Not into, okay, so yeah. First play. Yeah, and I guess they did the spoilers. Whoa, I didn't see that. Whoa, I needed to not see that. Okay. Play the game Played the game at a friend's house. Intro chapter a bit more and started liking the style of the game. Okay. At the beginning, these crew don't win a price of sympathy, but with every decision done with the game, they start to like each other, and at the end, it feels like they're really a family. Characters don't fit their age, supposed traits role. Okay. Characters don't fit age role. As negative from the last reviewer. What do you mean swearing doesn't make you tough? Watch me be intimidating as fuck. Fuck, hell. Fuck, bitch. Does the Mr. Nice Guy route too? Okay. Okay, which is a shame. So it's a bit special to say so. It is more like an interactive movie. I got the experience with this game, like this with the game. Okay, whatever. Why the band is doing so bad in writing lyrics for songs? Hey, they're not a band. They're smugglers. Okay. So this person is adding justifications. But, okay. Characters feel believable? Question mark? Oh, you can't see this. Characters feel believable, i.e. that and music. Lyrics. I guess that's a good thing. They said something else. Character development. Okay, interacting with the crew is fun. 2. Conversations matter. 2. Movie-like experience. Okay. What is fun? Getting triggered. Not fun. Everything else. I hate everything. Count 1. Positive. Triggered. Okay. Very fun and stylish so far. Aesthetically pleasing. What I'm getting is the struggles are believable, but the behavior is not. We will find out. Very good story, several funny parts. Interactive movie-style game. 2. I just wish you could turn off the they-them pronouns that a lot of these developers are using now. Unless it's a robot drone, it's him, her, depending on the person. Interesting complaint. As in, they always say they? For every character? Are all of them non-binary? Confused. Negative review. Woke. No, because again, listen, Rance, this is the thing. That's why I wanted to do this. Because I'm like, I don't know what's going on. People seem to be very confident in what they're saying. But, like, is it? I don't know. I don't know. Also, just for the record, a lot of the positive reviews are getting gestures, which, you know, is not very nice, but is funny as fuck. So again, it's a movie thing. I don't think I want to record the pronouns. Probably just doesn't want to understand non-binary. I don't know, man. There aren't many reviews. Don't know if Steam allows you to delete reviews. Yeah, so I wanted to look at this, by the way. Okay, so we looked at Dragon exists. This is the estimation of owners of that game. They seem to be relatively inaccurate. Or, you know, this is a lot as compared to these for some reason. But if you look at the amount of reviews on that game, there's 1,600. So 1,600 to 34 is the ratio. How do you do percentages? Like this. 4% reviewed. Our estimate for this game was, I believe, like 2K owned. Or if you say 4.1 or 2K, let's go 2K. 120 or 160 reviews divided by 2K. 7%. Shift 5? I'm not... Okay. Oh, that's what you meant by percentage. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know if I agree that there aren't many reviews. Percentage-wise... Percentage fused. Percentage-wise, if we're taking this number and how many people reviewed the game, it's about the same. 4 to 7%. Proportionally, it is about the same. I would say that the more damning thing is that if this took 4 million to make and it sold this much, it's doing quite poorly. But proportionally, I think the amount of reviews is the same. Okay. Okay, I already did that. Holy shit! Kicked in the head by how awful it was and gave it a 2 out of 10. I've now completed the game for the first time and gotten the librarian ending, where you end up going to Nova Scotia. Okay, well... Spoiler alert! Stop it! God damn it. Okay. It's got to be the most dismally explained, poorly written bullshit I've had to sit through in a long time, and the game is practically 14 hours of it. The environment and background is poorly explained. You know nothing about how America ended up being near-apocalyptic wasteland. You have no idea how the echoes came to be except something broadcast. You have no explanation of how your words manifest to reality. You have no way enhanced its magic. Okay, the story. Environment's pretty good. Combat sucks ass. Music, 7 or 0. Environmental music, good. Play along, bad. TLDR, 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10. Bro, it's a review. I thought I was out of gacha hell. Why'd you bring me back? Wasn't explained, therefore bad. Classic. So, okay. I wanted to say this, by the way. This is completely unrelated. Let me know when the Gloria banner is back so that I can start playing that game. Thank you. That's it. That's it. That's all. Okay. So, story is not emotionally resonant. Ending is weak. Story, powers, background, poorly explained. What banner? The Gloria banner. It's the cute night girl with the flag. Okay. Stories, power, background poorly explained. I would like to make a note because this means not delivering on studio promise of in-depth worlds, i.e. no depth or explanation. Environment's good. Combat's bad. Combat is poor. 2. Environments are pretty. Okay. Story-based game that doesn't cover the actual story. Hilarious. Okay. One of the worst games I've played in 5 years. The music is not enjoyable. The gameplay is paper thin and the characters all hate each other. I felt like I saw this multiple times and I wonder about it. Characters hate each other. Which makes me really confused with interacting with the crew is fun. So, like, what does this mean? I don't understand why these both exist. think you might be able to buy her. Oh, what? Okay, might be able to buy her because there's still selector you can get with currency, like $30. I use it to buy a unit that synergizes with my boy Dandelion. If I could have the banner girl, I might play. It's fun to see them hate, I guess. I'm wondering if this means, like, they banter a lot. Okay, playing in the last 5 years, the music is enjoyable. Is their music bad? Music bad. Choices did not matter. Empathic. Ending. Story. Aesthetic. Combat. Ending. Did we not put choices don't matter? One-dimensional characters, bad optimization. Overall story, zero depth. Choices don't... Choices don't matter. Story. Overall game quality. Can I just do this? I'll do this. Okay. Characters hate each other. Audio. Story, audio, gameplay? Rhythm games, conversations. Okay, rhythm game is fun. Movie-like experience, stories, interacting with the crew, conversations matter, characters feel believable. Triggered goes under gameplay. Sorry, I'm gonna read chat in a second. Story. Aesthetics. Environments are pretty. Positive. Negative. Okay. Okay. Guy who said characters hate each other had 1 hour playtime. Probably just starts off with conflict between them and they grow closer over time. That's fair. There's a band that plays music in a rhythm game and the lyrics are god-awful. Yeah. Maybe because they're always at odds with each other. Glory's on the character selector! They don't have $30. Shit. I'm actually trying to cut costs right now. The question is, do I buy Gloria or do I buy Dustborn? That is the question. Okay, sorry. So, my choice did not matter. There's an irony in games about a rebellious group of ragtag heroes fighting the government in a game funded by the government. Okay, I mean, that's kind of besides the point. Okay. Rich storytelling with a mind for complex interpersonal dynamics. Interacting with the crew is fun. I love the exploration of the alternate timeline. Fascist hate, energized structure, eerily reminiscent of reality. Like the minigames. Relationship progress was exceptional. Okay, interacting with the crew was fun. Conversations mattered. Was there? Minigames? Minigame was fun? Overall experience has witnessed the mouth breathing. Join us! Oh my god. Thank you, Poi. For the super. Why? I'm a little scared. Dustborn will be reduced to $5 in a month. I will give it a shot. It's on Steam, right? I think I saw it originally on Steam. Okay. The only negative experience has been witnessing the mouth-breathing, abusive incels, proving the point of this narrative by demonstrating their horrifically poor media literacy. Sadly, not all have the emotional intelligence to engage with this game, so I would suggest something less cerebral. 10 out of 10. Interesting. It's close to 30 USD. Yes, I am aware. I was not expecting to get character selected immediately, but I will give it a shot. Okay, so this person's of the opinion that the story is actually rather deep. Remains to be seen. Okay, conversation is better. Entire the crew's fun. Movie-like experience. Characters are believable. Not all have the emotional intelligence to engage with. I'm trying to think of energized emotional intelligence. Engage with this game. So is it just something less cerebral? Sorry, I think I like made a conclusive leap in my head. What do they talk about the game having good writing? Oh, relationship progression was exceptional. I think that's what it was. Okay, sure. I'm sorry if this is off topic, but the word incel has lost all meaning. My understanding of... Okay, so I'm going to describe what my understanding of incel means. It comes from involuntarily celibate, as in, like, they can't get bitches. And they feel bad because they can't get bitches, which feeds into loneliness. Is that not what that comes from? Does anyone not think that's what the definition of incel is? Let me know. Angel's an active Redditor? Oh god. Okay. 0.3. The propaganda is pain. Just buy Subverse instead. Okay, well... So I want to be critical about this, by the way. This doesn't necessarily mean how long they've played the game because it doesn't record offline play. I just want to be clear about that. Join us? Oh my god. I was saying it offhandedly. Thank you for the super. It is, but it's not always applied quite right. Yeah, for incel? Well, okay, so hear me out. Alright. I'm going to show you what emotional intelligence looks like. You might not like it, but this is what emotional intelligence looks like. This person emotionally resonated with this game. They thought it was really good. They're angry because there are people who don't like this game when they thought this game was really good, so they feel the need to name call them. Their belief is that they don't understand the game because they aren't intelligent. This is likely a core belief. That these people are not emotionally intelligent and therefore cannot appreciate the game. That's what they're saying. I can't, do I disagree with them? I don't know. Like, I haven't played the game yet. But this is how they feel. They're name calling because they're mad. This is just a person. This is just a person. They feel person emotions and say things. Who cares? Like... Alright. Great game. Me and my family loved it. Played it together. Loved it. Mad cause bad taste. Okay. I went into this with an open mind. I disregarded all the online hate and gave it a shot. Here's my experience. Too much dialogue. The dialogue overlaps often. It's too much. There's too much cringy quips that aren't funny or engaging. They should redo it and cut 90% of the fluff. Okay. Story. Is too long. Long and fluff. And, okay, how do I say this? Too much fluff. Get to the point. There's not much game. Why am I pressing E to change a shirt or read a silly blurb about a chocolate isn't gameplay? All I really got the chance to do was briefly hit some shadow people with a bat and then play a bit of Guitar Hero. Give me more things to do, please. If you want to tell me a story, then make a show or movie, not a game. You might say, okay, we're setting it up to give us a chance. Starts to meander. Okay, so. Where was that? Not taking advantage of it being a game. Where is it? Comet is poor. Next week. Wait, Comet is poor should be up here. Okay. Story was not emotionally resonant. It's like, I feel like this person is talking about not much in game. The gameplay systems aren't robust. It's kind of what I'm thinking. Play systems are too simple. Oh wait, this is game quality. Overall game quality. Gameplay. I'm just gonna say, I feel like bad optimization is not something I really want to put here unless it shows up more times. Gameplay. There we go. This person needs to feel like they're better than others. I feel like only incels use the word incel. I don't know. Again, they're just mad. It's fine to be mad. Okay. Give me more things to do. Okay, so, you know what's actually interesting about this? Gameplay systems are too simple. Self-determination theory. Mastery is too easy. Challenges are not hard, or let me express mastery. Important. The dialogue option prompts seem meaningless. Seem meaningless. I had times where I had a choice, then I picked something, it would give me the next choice down the list anyways. Huh? If you ignore QTEs, then you have to listen to more cheesy filler dialogue, so never ignore them. What the frick? Okay, so choices feel meaningless. Choices don't matter. +1. I wanted to hear more about the actual story, but it's buried under pointless filler. Constant bad one-liners. The story is not explained. Characters are simply unlikable. I didn't find any of them to be endearing or interesting. The characters sucked. Not even one-dimensional. Characters are bad. Some of us read fast and want to skip along. No option for that. What the frick? I don't want to skip the story. I want to read at a faster, not a snail's pace. I lost interest having to sit and wait. That's a UX problem. Nice! We got a UX complaint! Let's fucking go! No UX system to make dialogue faster. Fuck you, Genshin. It's great. Love that. Okay, non-stop dialogue is another thing that I've heard people had issues with. The story tries to excuse it, but it's still annoying. It's almost like if the story tries to excuse a UX problem, it's fucking annoying. Auto advance only is psychopathic design. UX complaints! Let's go! Alright. I love when people complain about UX. Characters keep getting symbols popping above their heads, and in the top left there are cryptic icons flashing as you play. Having this stuff explained would be nice. Do it immediately. I don't know what a person with a shushing symbol on them looking all wizardry and mystical means when I chose an option. Did I pick the wisdom route? The censored route? Did I pick the keep quiet and listen to others route? I don't understand. Gameplay system doesn't make sense. Gameplay / relationship system doesn't make sense. Not explained. That's an onboarding problem, actually, but anyways. It's a hard pass. If you had found even a tiny bit of something interesting to hold on to, I'd have not refunded. There are better story novel games out there. Go play them. Okay. Let's go, Caps Lock! Let's fucking go! I would like to mention, by the way, so I actually genuinely think like something like this. I genuinely believe this person played this game and actually like kind of enjoyed it. But people clowned on him. Like 21 clown emojis. On Twitter, this is what you would call getting ratioed. This is what you would call getting ratioed. Okay. All right, let's just, again, they only play for an hour. Let's take this caps lock with a grain of salt. Okay. To know that this game is literally government propaganda funded directly by the Norwegian government and the European Union. Okay, so again, this is a leap in logic. It's not clear to me that this is... I don't know what you want me to say about this. Okay. Article published today entitled U.S. Government Using Tax Dollars to Fund Woke Counter Disinformation Video Games and reads as follows. Okay, well, this is just putting another article. Simplified, they portray weak strawman arguments with popular media to make their political opponents look ridiculous. The public consumes this media and is thus convinced that the government narrative is the proper narrative, while anyone who dares to challenge the narrative is automatically ignored, even if their position is based on facts and evidence. Okay. I'm not a political scientist. Like, listen, I don't... look, I am not a political scientist. I literally don't understand this, and I'm not going to pretend like I understand this. It is not my job to understand this. A political scientist would explain this to me, and I would design a game around it. I have no idea what they're saying. But they didn't like it because it's government propaganda. I guess I should write that. Auxiliary. I wonder how many people are talking about government propaganda. Ox. Quote. Government propaganda. I'm not a political scientist, okay? Just don't at me with this shit. Norwegian is very centrist and was likely right-leaning for Norwegian standards at the start of development, so I don't think they're quite there on the propaganda. I see. I want to know if that's actually true. Yeah, I don't freaking know, man. Okay. Thumbs up, 0.1 hours played. In an oppressive authoritarian state. Okay. This has a lot of stuff. I'm bisexual, I mean kind of gay. Okay, I can't. I'm frustrated, disappointed, sad, depressed, I hate. Okay. Dangerous ideologies. Okay. Okay, again, I just, listen. I don't find any half of whatever political dichotomy or whatever funny. It's just like when people are like, I am this, the others are bad. It's the most like, yes, let's go. We made a dichotomy and then separated the both of us. Let's fucking go. Yeah, felt represented. I think so, actually. This is actually a positive thing. So, resonated with experience of oppression on authoritarianism. Is that how you spell that? There you go. Okay. Game isn't gay enough. Is this real? I can't tell if this is a real review. I mean... I don't know what to put that as. don't know what that means. Product refunded. Played this game for 30 minutes before my power went out. Of course, over the course of 30 minutes, I was bored and fighting to stay awake. The opening is extremely slow. Little player input besides a few meaningless questions, just a plot dump poured into you. The characters are all mostly unlikable, and the player character is downright evil, but celebrated as hero. Okay. Characters are unlikable. Main character sucks. Evil. Story pacing is bad. I'm gonna put the popular ones at the top. Pacing is bad. Too much fluff. Or otherwise. Pacing is bad. Something like this. Okay. Lack of diversity, no? Oh, for what? For which one? The previous review or this one? Little player input. One more songs. Ending is weak. This is a gameplay thing. Ending is weak. I hate everything. Aesthetically pleasing. Wait, what? Should be in positive. Hate everything. Overall, zero depth. Pacing is bad. Yeah, pacing is bad. Decisions don't matter. Awe-inspiring game of the century. This game is perfectly designed to be god-awful. It is a clever tactic used by the devs to allow for more people to go outside and reevaluate their life choices after playing through the good-for-nothing paralogue. Pacing is bad. Story is bad. I'm not going to double ding them on it. Not enough gay people. I wasn't sure if this was not enough gay, like the game isn't gay enough, as in they wanted to gay, but couldn't gay. I don't know. Yeah, sure. Lack of diversity. Representation? Okay. Pretty good so far. I can totally understand if someone feels the mechanics are too passive and simple. Okay, that's interesting. Mechanics are bad. Combat is poor. Gameplay is too simple. Not gonna double ding. The soundtrack is awful! Really? Did we put that? Music is bad, too. The longest journey, which I am. Okay. Elephant in the room. I don't care one iota about the political stuff, but yes, I can see that the characters are hyper-representative of everything. I do want to point out that some people actually experience that in their friend groups, especially when they are queer. This crew looks like the kind of people I'm usually around. It's not unrealistic, but it may be so alien to you that you can't enjoy it. I get that. I feel that same way when I'm dragged into religious services for whatever reason. I wish we'd quit trying to shoot down others' media and just accept that we live in different worlds. That's all I'll say on it. Okay. So this is interesting because this is overall a positive, I think. So this resonated with their experiences. We're going to put that here. Where is it? Resonated with, this was very specific. And I want to leave it because it might come up for someone else. But I want to put that at the top because this probably... this resonated with my experiences. I'm gonna put 2. I'm gonna put a double ding and then put an asterisk here. Okay. But I wanted to put something. This is design related. And this is my personal expectation, which I don't know, again, if this is like a... Am I asking for too much? Design did not bridge the gap in understanding of represented characters to not the layman, but like to people outside of that community. I feel like this is important. This goes with teaching and tutorials in games like Slay the Spire. I think it is design's role to bridge the gap. If anyone else mentions this, even in a positive review, I'm going to record it. Because I think that is a ding on design. Okay. Game is good. Dig the atmosphere, and playing it makes the culture war mad, then all the better. Props for including a Muslim main character too. So refreshing hearing in this, I don't know what that is, in a Western game and having it not be tied to someone from the Middle East going full terrorism. Okay, so this is accurate representation. Good vibes. I don't know what to put there. It's positive. Just feel believable? I don't know. I'm probably going to collapse a lot of these into generalized statements rather than specific ones, but it's kind of like characters are believable. No, it's not the same. Good vibe. I don't know. Accurate representation, where is that? Of accurate representation of what? Of characters? Of diversity. Characters. Last one also had characters are believable as being a queer friend group. Thank you. Yeah, I won't be perfect at this, so please feel free to correct me. Accurate representations resonated with my experiences. I don't really know what to put. Good vibes? It's like auxiliary. So I feel like other people are going to say that. Okay, not a perfect game. Doing something unique. Narrative game with some gameplay sprinkled in between. Similar to Telltale games or Life is Strange. The game really stands out on its art direction, characters, and general world building. General world building, really? Other people did not like the general world building. Stage matter, movie experience, good world building. Art direction, characters. I'm just gonna say characters mattered. Aesthetic was good. If you don't take the story of the protagonist, you'll have a bad time. So much of the game is based around building relationships with your crew and finding more about the general state of the world. This I'm really interested in, because the people who rated this negatively said this did not exist. Gameplay. Find out about the world. You dislike the characters, you won't like the game. Writing is mostly good, but sometimes I also can't tell if they're being deliberately sarcastic or playing with the audience. Cheesy one-liners. How's it going? I mean, we're going through the reviews. Or just unintentionally cringe and trying to hammer a point home. But that's under auxiliary. Can't tell when sarcastic or actually just being cringe. Most apparent when the band is performing, the songs vary from fine to terrible. Music is bad. It's not the main focus of the story, so it didn't bother me much. The rhythm game tied to this, however, feels a bit off. I think it could use some accessibility options. Ooh, interesting! UX! UX complaint, let's fucking go! Let's go! Accessibility options for them. Just lack of. Take a swig every time there's a UX complaint. Combat is okay, nothing to write home about. It's not complicated in thought. Initially, it can feel a bit chaotic. Once you get a hang of the core mechanics, it can be super easy. It is a nice intermission. It never stops being a little bit clunky. I did enjoy the combat banter a lot, however, and the fact that each character brings a unique synergy to the table. Combat has nice Answer. System energy is nice. Energies are gonna go through. Just curious. I was hoping that I would eventually find like more relevant or overlapping things. This is probably the last thing that we were gonna do. That'd be a hurdle for me too. True. Yeah, I mean, did we want to stop doing this? This is the last thing I had planned, just for the record. I was gonna try and like put all that stuff together and then maybe buy the game next time. But we're probably gonna play Spire on Wednesday. Something. So, I mean, I guess for anyone who's still here, has this been fun? Has it been fun? Is this insightful at all? Did I explain anything that may have actually... Right? Like, this is not me just saying game bad. You know what I mean? Like, we're actually looking at it. You liked it? That's good? Good thumbs up? Because it's a yapping stream. It's basically just yapping. Okay. Spent the last few days playing and finishing this game. I look forward to this release since I saw the trailers. It's right up my alley. The characters were relatable, distinct, and diverse. Enjoyed the variety of things to do. So minigames were fun. Characters were relatable and accurate. Okay. I guess characters accurate. Wait. Okay. Minigames were fun. And this was basically all minigames. Minigames were fun. We need more of these, and just to see how it goes over in regard to playing the game. I am too. Because again, like, this is just what people are saying, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I understand that this is like a very like slow part of the stream, just like reading reviews. I shit you not, when you get playtesting data, like, organizing it takes so much time. It's so annoying. Because, like, you'll usually have scaled responses, right? So, like, 50% of people thought, like, 7 out of 10 or something like that. You use different scales and whatever, but the shit in the short answers are always like, how do I categorize the short answers? It's always like, are these saying the same thing? I don't know. Which is why you don't generally ask short answer questions, but sometimes they're insightful. Anyways, okay. So extremely insightful. I wasn't expecting this much from a live stream about Dustborn. Thank you. In fact, if you want more game review steams, leave a like and subscribe for more Flares content. Yes, thank you, Fused. Yeah, because, like, listen. I was very transparent about this. This is not a game for me. Probably. Like, this is probably not my game. I'm probably not going to enjoy it when I play it from a personal standpoint, but I do want to know if there are things that I can point to that it will go like, listen, I just don't think this is good design. Just, in my not-so-professional opinion, I just don't think this is very good. Maybe we could do something else. Like, what if instead of this, we did this? And start discussion about that. But overall, I'm probably not going to have a high opinion of this game. The only streamer that is analyzing the game in a metric standpoint being neutral about it. Yes, because that would need to be my job. Generally, you want to be on a team charter that cares about the same things you care about, but, I mean, hey, if they hired me, I guess I would do my job. Did I read this yet? Okay, sorry. Yeah, I haven't played it yet. I imagine I will have more complaints to say when I actually play the game, but again, I did want to be like, listen, we can elucidate why people might not like this. And then also be like, it's okay that people like this. That's fine. And for all the people again, I'm gonna say this like 7 billion times. For all the people who care about the 2 government grants that they were talking about, this game costs a lot of money. The grants are like a low percentage of what funded this game. Anyways, the game to turn Flar anti-woke. Obviously. It's great for anyone who wants to remake the game given how much potential there is. Yeah, I mean, sure. Okay. Lore, character development. I feel like more of the lore and character development could have been explored and wrapped up better in the end. I think it was bad. Is it? I think it's weak. Wanted more character depth. But they're happy with it. Vibes were good. Overall experience good. This is for everyone. Black female protagonists and queer representation meant a lot to me in the show Road Trip, and found family just band of misfits aspect really sold me. Yeah, so interesting. This is resonated with my experiences and like accurate representation. Found family themes, queer representation. I do want to put like interacting with the crew is fun. This is a double. Characters were flawed and introspective. Felt real. Based on political history is interesting. Comic book visuals were fun. Aesthetic was good. Aesthetically pleasing. Oh! UX wins! Subtitles! I know it's very basic, but like, hey, come on. Accessibility. Subtitles. Subtitles. Okay. Play the combat easy because the combat is a priority for me. It's pretty user-friendly. Oh, that's actually a great UX thing. Combat easy mode felt... Excuse me. Ugh. Part of hearing, yeah, that was really important. I had to exit the story due to glitches. Oh, there were glitches. Overall game quality. Whatever. Problems, whatever. I do wish there was an easier way to go back if choices didn't have the desired effect. And for the life of me, I couldn't score that high on the musical bits, but overall I had a great experience. I enjoyed it. I think the characters and their stories will stay with me for a while. Okay. This is really important UX, and I'm really surprised that they didn't put this. Why can't go back and redo choices? A choices matter game. You could say that that's design intention to not let people go back and replay their choices, but like, come on, guys. Come on. Okay. Cannot begin to explain how much this game sucks. I got this shit for free and it still pisses me off. Okay, well, I mean, that's not incredibly constructive, but it's I hate everything. Game is damn boring. Graphics are worse. That's really interesting. I think a lot of people like the aesthetic. Aesthetic is bad. Wait, what? Do I not? I guess no one has really complained about the aesthetic, right? Okay. The aesthetic. Bad. Graphics look bad. Good gameplay ideas. Interesting. I don't know where to put that. Auxiliary. I don't know what they're referring to. So, a lot more time making the thing with politics involved in the game than actually making a good game. Okay, so this person did not vibe with the politics. Annoying repetitive discussions instead of any gameplay. Okay, so interestingly, that is actually a real thing. They were saying too much fluff. Where is that? Okay. Telltale does a better job and interesting history than pointless discussions of discussing how cops want to kill them. Okay, so conversations were bad. It was bad. Just don't matter. Characters are bad. I guess character's bad. Like, the talking about cops wanting to kill them is not very compelling. The good. Original decision maker game with some interactions. Uninteresting story. 3DS, light graphics, too linear politics. The game is just boring. Okay. I mean, they didn't... I guess they could have been offline. I'm tempted to not put specifically politics bad. Dude has not played a 3DS game. Yeah, clearly. I'm gonna drink some water. Clever ideas and soul. Okay. Good character design, solid graphics, good voice acting. Bad combat. Good characters, good aesthetic, good voice acting. Didn't put anything on your audio. Good VA. Combat janky. Combat is bad. Good character. Did I put aesthetics yet? Aesthetically pleasing. Said combat is anecdotal enough not to ruin the overall experience. I don't know what this means. Largely bug-free on release. This is not how other people have described this. Oh, worth the price. One of the hallmarks of good fiction is the focus on dystopia, or that focus on dystopia is how well it engages with modern anxieties. Okay, so accurate representation. Where is it? Okay. I'll take on its politics. Healing kindness and found families. Resonate. Emotionally resonate. Really? They're comparing this game to Disco Elysium. That is a bold claim. In my opinion. Based on how many people dislike this game. Okay, healing kindness and found families. Resonant. Emotionally resonant. Where is it? Resonate with my experiences? That's just emotionally resonant. Okay. This it? Okay. The VA is good at times? Okay. A lot of hate for this game. I don't get it. It's a narrative story. Has a cool look. Okay. Aesthetics, story. World building. Accurate representation. Strong reaction to the people in this game. Maybe look at why you have that reaction. Who told you to have that reaction. If queer people in games are not your thing, don't buy the game, guy. What's the big deal? Okay. So accurate representation. Good story, accurate representation, aesthetics. Representation, emotionally resonant, aesthetically pleasing. Yeah, okay. It sounds like some hard copium, TBH. Was it? Oh, the VA did sound good in the trailer. And, okay, this sounds like hard copium. Well, part of it sounds So, again, this feels like a very defensive statement. And, you know... I don't really know what to make of this. The people, that people are only complaining because there's a lot of gay stuff in it. Oh, that people are only complaining because there's a lot of gay stuff in it. Yeah, that's why we're doing the thing. Because I don't know if it's just a bad game or not. We're gonna see if it's a bad game first, and then talk about any other thing. Also, guess I wanted to say, let me think about this. So this is now an opinion piece. We are entering opinion mode. Are you ready for opinion mode? I think the thing that people often have or react negatively to. And again, this is an opinion. This is sort of what I understand about, I think, my interactions with people and stuff. And I'm going to put this in the framing of a card game player. Let's say you have someone who is good at playing Magic the Gathering, and they are genuinely pretty good at the game. You lose to them like 80% of the time. If they're just a good player, and they're not in your face about it, they're just, playing their game, they're quite good, you can respect their skill, and you're like not of approval. Like, you are good at this game. Not a problem. When they start shoving that in your face, it becomes annoying. Whenever you take something that is part of you, the thing that is a part of you is not a problem. There's no problem there. The thing that people generally, have friction against is when you, make it a part of your identity and then shove it in their face. So if I started talking to someone who does not care about VTubers and started saying how I'm a huge VTuber fan and telling them about how my identity revolves around being a VTuber fan, that can cause friction with the people I'm speaking to. I have found that liking the thing is not a problem. I can talk to anybody and say hey, I like VTubers, these are the people I like or find interesting. They'll be like, I don't really listen to VTubers, it's not my thing. And I'll go, okay, thumbs up. But if I'm really pushy about how my personality is liking VTubers, and that is my whole identity, you will find friction with people. That has been my experience. So, just as a statement of defense, I don't think anyone has problems with this. I think it's when it is very explicitly the only thing they're talking about, which I don't even know if that's true. We haven't played the game yet. Alright, opinion session over. This is the vibe of be gay, do crime. Okay? And then it gets deep. Fun ride. Tugged at my heartstrings. Ending felt good. Interesting. Ending was good. Bittersweet. Store is the part that really won me over. Family. Okay. Story good. Emotionally resonant. Ending good. Good vibes. I like making a lot of choices to influence my companions and their attitudes and ultimately myself. It felt like their choices mattered. Conversations matter. These are honestly kind of similar. How many more are on this page? Ah, it keeps going, that's why. Why? I got trapped. I got trapped by the scroll. Okay, uncle how bad this game is. Combat is bad. Dialogue is bad. Characters are bad. Voice acting is bad. Environment is bad. Game is soulless. That's a lot of things to complain about. Combat, dialogue, characters. Combat. Characters. I guess we don't have a thing specifically about dialogue. Aesthetically unpleasing. Unappealing. Lack emotions. Bad VA. Add assets. VA bad. Okay. Okay. I agree with you. People don't like being preached, especially when they're the choir. Sure. There are people, but the people who have problems with their existence, a very small minority. Yeah, exactly. It's like there are people who are like discriminatory. Discrimination is bad. Like that's not. No one is talking about that. In my opinion, as someone who has sucked dick for less, you know, no one has a problem with that. The problem is if I come on stream every single time and tell you about how I suck dick. That's not... Yeah. Okay. The vocal, loud minority. Oh, of the people, yeah, who, like, kind of shove their ego in your face? Yeah. Doesn't help that they often get mixed in with a much larger crowd who just doesn't want it shoved in their face by the people shoving. Yeah, exactly. Which, again, it's unfortunate. Like, this is... Like, this does not just relate to... I'm gonna make a time, okay? This is not just for, like, particular, like, people. You know what I mean? Like, this also has to do with VTuber fans. There are fucking crazy VTuber fans that are like, I literally don't want to tell people I watch VTubers because of how actually insane you are. Right? Like, every community will have, like, vocally loud minorities that don't, or I guess a vocally loud minority of people who do not act well and are not representative of the greater whole. Which is why I'm saying I don't think people care about this. I think it's just like, if that's what the game is, then people will see friction with it. So, and that hasn't happened yet. And again, I am going to personally ding them on points if I see that the bridge and understanding is not being bridged by the design, because they are saying that they want it to be resonant with a diverse cast of people. The people who do not resonate with your game are part of the diverse cast of people. Do you want them to understand or not? I also saw I think it was a social media post. I think it was posted on Reddit and stuff. But they were saying, like, they wanted the game to cause discussion. So again, are you going to make good discussion if the people with the thing don't understand, like, what is happening? Like, if you did not try to bridge the gap in understanding, because it is your media, then, like, can you really claim that you're trying your best to create discussion? Right? Looks like it's for teens. They started making this game 4 years ago, right? Looks like they were trying to follow the trend and the trend changed. Maybe, I don't know. Absolutely, it's important to hide your own power level and to be able to meet others on equal footing by being able to talk about more than one thing you define yourself as. Exactly. I think, but the thing is, in general, like, no, just in general, listen, like, I feel bad for people who just like one thing, because, like, you know, I think that that's okay too. You can like your one thing and that's fine. And maybe it is really important to you, and that, again, that's fine. Or, like, the other thing too is that, like, if something is very important and part of your identity, it's like, how did that happen? Like, what were your experiences that led to that thing being very important to you? For example, there are, like, young people who go to VTuber concerts that are like that person might be, like, inspired in the future to become a musician, right? So, like, sure, they had, like, a foundational experience that, so they're gonna say that they, like, love VTubers, and it's gonna be a huge part of their personality. That's fine. It's just that, like, understand that when you're communicating with another individual, that it's kind of pushy to, like, have it be your all-encompassing personality. Maybe talk about music instead of just the The VTuber aspect of it. How much you love VTubers. Okay. We already recorded this one. This person played for like 9 hours. Only completed issue 4 so far, and I'm absolutely loving this game. The master expositions are definitely pretty heavy-handed. Lots of fluff. I'm recording that. Too much fluff. Get to the point. Playing with minimal combat because it gets repetitive. Combat is bad. Story, characters, and music are all fantastic. Really, like this, okay. Characters are good. Music's good. This is the first person who said music good. That's funny. Story, characters. How the characters can interrupt or speak over each other. It makes conversations feel more realistic and less stilted than a lot of other games. Ah. Interesting. Pictures feel believable. Accurate representation. What this? Okay. One thing is fun gameplay. I don't think heavy-handed storytelling is quite the same as fluff. You're right. I felt like there were other people who said things similar to this, but I don't remember. Love this game. Boring. Love you, Mr. President. Current past games. It draws inspiration from titles like the Telltale games. Dustborn pulls no punches in depicting the bigotry and hatred that its culturally diverse characters experience. It's clear about the influences of white supremacy and colonialism in creating a game that it, like this in today's landscape, deserves applause. As someone who aligns with the demographic that this game targets, not just the LGBTQ plus community, but gamers who value some serious narratives and characters that reflect real life struggles, Dustborn has left me confused, disrespected, and angry. Wow. I thought they were going to say something positive. It sounded like, wow, nice, like good landscape, like deserves applause. Like this is my target demographic. And they're like, they did not represent me correctly, and I am mad. Holy shit. Lack of not emotionally resonant to me. Madge. Okay. Try to influence people. Alright, let's just... Holy essaying! Combat is atrocious. They wanted to convey a message, but they assume the audience is unintelligent. We're not. We read everything, watch cutscenes, and don't skip dialogue. Okay. Story is poorly designed. Choices matter. The character. This is interesting. This is more of a design thing. Did not bridge the gap. This is so interesting. Did not bridge the gap in understanding, but also, aesthetic. But also, too heavy-handed? This goes under heavy-handed. I didn't ding this up. Just here. 2. I did read the deserves applause, but as it sees itself as deserving applause. Oh, I see. I don't know. Okay. It does not treat their audience here like... Okay, this is kind of interesting because in designing a serious game, you might assume that you don't need to lay it out too much for them. Like, this might be an inaccuracy in, like, narrative design. Comment is bad. Voice acting is bad. Music is bad. Okay. Where were we? Sorry. Comment's bad, voice acting is bad, music is bad. Comment's bad. Voice acting is bad. Music is bad. Specifically didn't like these things. On expert. In rhythm games, the UI is crucial. It's literally your instrument. Yo. UI complaint. That's hot. UI complaint. I'm literally so hard right now. Rhythm game UI bad. This might be related to people complaining about accessibility. Yeah, that they were patronized by the developers and the writing. Exactly. As inspired by political events from 2016, setting a target on its back. They knew full well how it would be received. While the game should be allowed to fail without being a representative failure of all diverse games, the fact that Dustborn didn't fall is that Dustborn didn't fall out of a coconut tree. Yeah, this is really interesting. So this is kind of what I was saying, just for the record, was that, listen, people should be allowed to make the art that they want, and people should be allowed to not like the art that they make. This is fine. You should be allowed to make the game you want to make, and then have people like or not like it. I don't know what the reference is. Okay, if you're going to tackle heavy themes, you have to get the basics right. We're not like other gamers. Okay, well, I don't listen. With loot boxes, we're not going to blindly defend bad gameplay just because the characters look like us. We love games. This is so fascinating. We love games and know how good they can be. So this person actually felt like the quality of the game was not good enough. And actually that they felt like that, you know, like they felt represented, but felt like the game was bad. Okay. Lash out against rising fascism and anti-wokeism or wokeness. Developers seem to have forgotten to make an enjoyable experience with their target audience. This is so fascinating. Just because your game reflects blah. That's why I believe the option to have less combat was included. It should have just been a narrative game. So, combat was bad. I don't know if I put that. I'm pretty sure I didn't. Did I? No, combat was bad. I already put it. 6. Nice. I really appreciate this. Someone known for didn't fall out of a coconut tree, so to pull that out here is funny. Ah, that's funny. Yeah. That's why I stopped about 5 hours in. Okay. Alright, listen. I don't feel the need that I need to read the rest of this, but yeah, this is fascinating. 487 people found this useful. So I think this, you know, might be indicative of the sentiment. Right? And this is kind of what I was hoping for. Where it's like, listen, guys, you can make this game. You can make this game about whatever the fuck you want. But you made a bad game. And, you know, we'll see if they do anything right when we actually play it. But they were pretty upset about this. Man, essaying. Typing. Yeah, like, you know, this is like, I don't know. It's pretty funny, but also what? What is this? Nothing? It was aesthetically repulsive and an insult to the entire project of world civilization. Playing it only for 3 hours, I developed a terrible headache within the first. Over the years, government provided developers with the grant of $250 to combat misinformation, and I spread the free blast. Interesting. So they thought the game was bad overall, and the aesthetics were bad. Aesthetics bad. I got a headache. Oh man. Yeah, wrong government, bud. So, I don't know. I'm gonna say homie. Okay, well, we don't need to. Sure, they did not like it. Got this game for a friend. The gameplay is boring. The characters feel like cardboard cutouts of my friends' OCs. That is such a burn. That's crazy. There are great games that represent BIPOC and LGBTQ+ people. This, unfortunately, isn't one of them. Supposedly I'm the target demographic. I'll be real, I'm not impressed. I don't think they say anything specific except for the characters suck and the gameplay's boring. Which I feel like is gameplay systems are too simple, characters are boring. Okay. About this game, still wonder why people talk bad stuff. I've heard that the protagonist is just triggered. Well, obviously she has anger issues, but I've seen that I can go through all the game and get mad like once or twice. It's not really a big deal. Spoilers! Is it because the thing? Yeah, I'll be damned. Okay, story was really enjoyable. I don't know. Story was good. Good story. Where is it? It didn't really... Did he put a thing? Good role building? I don't know. Accurate representation? I don't know. There's no just like story good. How long do you think we should keep going? Sorry, I'm just like enthralled by like reading the reviews because I just want to like put all of them into the I want all their stuff to count. It feels not complete if I don't do all of it. But also I don't think yeah. I don't know. Still in my head. Trying to do good, but you can feel the passion of the team everywhere. The representation is great. Help also the writing. Choice-based game. Several occurrences where it felt like it didn't matter, or they were forcing my hand. I really didn't want to do... Ooh, disrespecting the player's agency. I love that. But you did a good job about feeling bad when you use your power. They feel bad every time. So you had mixed feelings, and I think I'll have a hard time to continue, sadly. Interesting. Representation was good. Game was forcing. I don't even know how to do this. It was more of a design thing, honestly. Narrative, felt, forcing. 3 more reviews before stopping? Okay. A narrative felt forcing. Several occurrences. I put representation was great, right? Did I? Accurate representation. Okay. But they can't continue. So they thumbs up it, but, you know. Just... Caps lock! We found the caps lock! These people hate each other! Let's have nice character moments and asides. Let's just scream at each other. At every single choice made because there are no right choices for everyone, right guys? At the end of the day, the game becomes more fun to play by attempting to do the worst thing you could do because the characters are always going to be upset or hurt. My favorite thing so far has been the unnecessary trauma dumping and selfish reactions during situations where common sense and life-preserving instincts would normally kick in. Wow. Jesus. Gameplay, it's slower than a Telltale game, mixed with bad Guitar Hero. Minigames bad. Okay, so story bad, minigame bad. Dragon Shout, but it's useless. Literally, you can just win by pressing the X button over and over again. So, gameplay system's bad. Combat poor. Minigame's bad. Really, I actually think that's the first one that said minigames explicitly bad. Too much fluff or storytelling is... Pacing is bad. Everyone hates each other. Why do the characters hate each other? That's really funny. This is a very specific complaint that I think is funny. Selfish actions are pretty normal for life-preserving instincts. Yeah, the thing is, it's like... Selfish reactions. It's not selfish actions, it's reactions. So it's like, people are like, hey, I'm talking to you about something normal, and then they get, like, annoyed or offended at you. Trauma-dumping and selfish reactions. Characters are bad. Didn't record that yet. Me as a gift, as a torture gift, and I gotta say, it's akin to digital waterboarding. Bravo soup. Well, they went into it probably not liking it, and this was the other one that I didn't read yet. Really looking forward to this game. Wait for so long. I love the other games. got excited. I'm a bit disappointed. I myself am part of the queer community, and this game almost feels like a parody on everything that's queer. Interesting. So instead of being good representation, it is bad representation. Poor representation. Did I put that anywhere? This one. Makes a point to make everything politically correct. It feels like it's mocking. Story seems interesting and mechanics are okay. Interesting. Positive. Story seems okay. I should really just make one that's good story. I don't know why I didn't put it here yet. Story good. Or overall... I know I'm putting it in at the end, but I might... Anyways. Game mechanics are okay. Systems are okay. Trigger, find out about the world. I don't know. Cliches like why make a point out of the fat person being the one obsessing over food? They really want to make this game enlightening. They fail to do. They should have made characters more real, authentic, and nuanced, and not a stereotype. Big no for me. Complete Dreamfall. Okay, representation was bad. Did they put that? They did, right? Lack of... I'm just gonna put... Poor. Okay. Alright. I think they mean as in the idiot hero plot, where the plot only works when the cast are idiots. Sure. Lack of representation and poor representation are very different points. Okay. Sure. Alright. I think we did good today. We went through a bunch of reviews, sorted by time, not by most helpful. I'm curious about what the most helpful ones are. So giving the game more hours than any game, I'm just curious. Cozy game. Medley of hit and misses, but it's okay. Not really that bad. Wildly inconsistent by the 7-hour mark. People hate each other. Ending will disappoint you. Boring visual novel. One of the worst games. I mean, all of the... See, this is the thing. I wanted to sort by recency just so that I could, like, you know... like, see mostly positive reviews, but a lot of the helpful, or, again, reacted to ones... Remember when I was talking about, like, ratioing and stuff? If something is already said in the negative comments, like, people will not make a new comment, they'll simply upvote the bad comment. So I think this is actually a lot more indicative, just for the record. Like, I think this is a lot more indicative of how people feel. Just, again, for the record. It seems like it resonated with some people, but there are a lot of people who found the bad reviews useful. Which is worth pointing out. And even the people who are positive about it, just for the record, a lot of these points came from people who thought the game was good. They were like, the combat's bad. Right? And some of them were like, man, sometimes the characters hate each other. Why? So, anyways. Cool. Yap time. That was written when you just tallied poor representation under lack of representation, but I do think it's good to separate them. Believe that. Dustborn is one of the games of all time. Oh. Hi, Magic. How's it going? Welcome. We're just finishing, unfortunately. So we read some reviews to catch the pulse of how people feel about the game. I did some tallying. Now, mind you, this tallying is based on occurrence within review, not occurrence based on review weight, depending on how many people found this review helpful. There are a lot of people who are finding the, like, long essay-written negative reviews as helpful. Again, would like to point that out. So, all this being said, we will, like, you know, find out how we feel about this game, I guess. I think looking into the character arcs, story arcs, would be important. Non-zero amount of the people saying helpful we're never going to play the game and are just playing into the outrage? Sure. So not every person counted as like a review is helpful is actually a player of the game, or genuinely agrees with what they're saying, or even read the thing. So they read, I played a full run of Dustborn, so you don't have to, and then uploaded this. I think that that's accurate. That's fair. Okay. Which I guess the idea is that the most amount of interactions, the people who are angry and would post interactions on something is like a higher quantity than the people who... Pause only. Than the people who are like, the 100 people... well, first of all, the thing that I find funny about this is that this is like probably cringe millennial humor, which is why people like this. Which is why this was this. People found this thing. This one was helpful because they said the Free West. Yeah, so like, listen. We did this part, and I know it took a really long time, and, you know, frankly, how useful is this data? Not very useful. But the reason I did this was that, like, you can look at reviews and try to find trends. A lot of people are complaining about the characters and that their choices don't matter, right? It will have a Harry Potter Star Wars reference. I don't know, maybe. But people didn't like the combat. Some people thought the gameplay was too simple. But then other people did like they thought it was resonant or emotionally representative. The representation was accurate. The characters felt believable, even though they were kind of stupid or bad at music. People like the aesthetic. Some people just kind of had good vibes. So, you know, it's mixed. So, when we actually play it, probably next week, I'm gonna bring in the design hammer and tell them to make better games. Which again, man, budget and sales section, oof. Are we good? I think we're good. Am I canceled yet? I don't want to be canceled. Raise your hand if you were going to cancel Flares. Shit. How did we do? Did anyone actually join this stream? I'm curious. 102 views. I guess we've been live for 3 hours? People were mostly here. And then it kind of tapered off when we were talking about reviews and stuff. Okay. Sure. That makes sense to me. No matter your opinions on the game, you'll get cancelled. Black Myth Wukong was good. Cancelled. You enjoy this? Alright, cool. I will be a lot more ruthless when it comes to design. Probably. Like when it comes to actually critiquing the design. But you did talk about sucking dick for less, so I mean, hey, I'm just wasn't not wrong. You enjoyed this? Nice. Okay, well, that's gonna be it for today. That was a lot of yapping. My throat is like actually dry. Because of how much talking I had to do. It's like proportionately way more yapping than I normally do. And I do a lot of yapping, but this was like 3 hours straight of like analysis yapping. Okay. Pack it up. Pack it up. We'll probably do this again next Monday. Next stream will probably be Wednesday and we'll play Spire. We'll just play Slay the Spire. Yeah, and we'll probably like actually play it next time and I will have more complaints. Okay. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your support as always. Thank you, Poi and Rants, for buying me a Gloria. How dare you make me download a gacha game? Alright. See you all later. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.